I don't think we've ever seen a company be as disingenuous and phony as Marvel Studios is being exposed to be. Yet for some reason, people still go out of their way to defend them. Let's discuss. Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
This is a subject that I've alluded to many times on this channel because I've heard various rumors over the years about it, but with the more time that passes and the more information that's revealed, it boggles my mind why more people aren't talking about this. Anyone with standards, which unfortunately is few and far between these days, can see that there's been a massive dip in quality as it pertains to the CGI in Marvel Studios productions.
That's right, it stinks!
Which always struck me as odd considering they do rely heavily on CGI in order to produce their content. You would think that would put them in a situation where because they have unlimited resources, they would use more of those resources to make the CGI the best they possibly could. But that's not what happens, and that's why we get visually unimpressive projects like Spider-Man No Way Home, or Moon Knight, or Thor Love and Thunder, and yes, most recently, She-Hulk. Now there's been a lot of deflection as it pertains to why exactly this is happening. The She-Hulk director herself actually blamed the people who were criticizing the CGI.
Fuck me, right?
I guess everyone who works for Marvel Studios just expects everyone to be fed shit and like it. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people out there who will do just that. But now we have this article from Vulture that all but confirms our suspicions. And now we know what the real reason is that the CGI looks like shit. The article is titled, "I'm a VFX artist and I'm tired of getting pixel fucked by Marvel." Brilliant title, by the way. In this article, and this was revealed through Discussing Film on Twitter, that Marvel is said to have a lot of bullying power over these smaller VFX companies.
Stop being a bitch and come on!
This sounds very reminiscent of kind of what they do with movie theaters as well. They take up so many screens and they threaten to pull the movies if they don't get what they want. And this in effect causes smaller films to not get as many screen times. The article goes on to say, when one VFX company couldn't finish the number of shots and reshoots Marvel asked for in time, they effectively blacklisted the company from ever getting work with Marvel again.
Fuck you, asshole.
Now it makes sense why their current CGI is so fucking shoddy. We can't really blame the VFX people, and I never really have. Marvel is quite literally forcing them to put something out for fear that they might not have a job the next time a project comes around. Which with Marvel is obviously way too often. They release 5 or 6 projects a year, so that would cause these companies to miss out on a lot of job opportunities. They're quite literally blacklisting these companies because they're in a rush to put out more and more mediocre entertainment as quickly as possible. And this is the company that some of you defend.
You're okay. This one, real fucking ugly.
This is the company that is the most virtuous in the public eye. The ones who speak loudest and are constantly trying to claim the moral high ground are always the ones who have the most to hide. Marvel Studios are bullies, they are manipulative, and they are deceitful. And anyone who thinks that they give a shit about half the shit they claim to publicly are seriously misguided.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
I've said this many times, they really don't give a shit about diversity. They just want to appear to while they collect those ESG fund checks. And they clearly don't give a shit about creating art either, or creating something that's going to stand the test of time. They are quite literally the enemy of creativity, and people need to wake the fuck up and stop supporting them.
So I strongly suggest that you wake the fuck up.
Now you would think this would be enough to change some people's perception of this company. But no, just like always, there are still some who are desperate to defend this company at all costs. Almost as if their livelihood depended on it. Like this piece of shit on Twitter who said in regards to what Marvel is doing, "That's great, Marvel, keep going." Another corporate apologist who is willing to throw anyone and everyone under a bus if it means they get their Easter egg and reference dependent movies 4 times a year.
Fuck you!
And then you have this Twitter user, Drago Valenzuela, who says, so they tell them to do something in a determined space of time, they do not do it, so Marvel decides not to contact them again. What part of this is irrational? Yes, clown, because I'm sure it's that simple. I'm sure Marvel Studios isn't making unrealistic demands in that span of time, or possibly changing plans at inappropriate times because they can't get their shit together. All of that is going to make things much more difficult for VFX artists, and that's what we're talking about here.
That makes sense.
The mental gymnastics that these people go through to try to defend Marvel after they do immoral shit like this is mind-boggling to me. Whatever happened to sticking up for the little guy? What happened to people fighting back against large corporations who take advantage of people? No, now it's, I need my MCU film, so fuck those clowns. All hail Daddy Disney, all hail Marvel, all hail Lord Feige.
Take a big step back and literally fuck your own face!
This isn't culture war shit. This is the war for creative freedom and decency. Pay these fucking people what they deserve, give them the proper amount of time to actually accomplish what you're paying them for, and people need to stop giving this company their money until they do just that. I know most people won't be willing to do that, but change starts with people speaking up. And kudos to these VFX artists for doing just that.
Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. That's how winning is done.
Y'all be cool. Nah.